Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Vindicator strikes back. 6,006 subscribers, maybe. The name of the video, they want you on benefits so they can control your life, is the name of the video. Um, yeah, I very much agree with that, to be honest. Again, the economy, the budget, the national debt, the New World Order, 2030. All these things, and again, a lot of people have noticed the year 2030 is being bandied round by quite a few people for a few reasons. So again, because this whole global agenda of 2030, which the majority of people aren't really aware of, is the other side of it. Do you know what I mean? Like Agenda 30, United Nations, it's not a well known thing. The Economic Forum saying by 2030 you will own nothing and be happy. Again, it's not a well known thing by the general public. This has all been said and done, but it's all kind of in the background in many ways. If you go and like look, literally type in United Nations Agenda 30 now, you'll come up and you can read about it. You know what I mean? You type in an economic forum and you will own nothing and be happy. And again, read about their plans. It's not really hidden, to be honest. That's the beauty of it. Again, the United Nations Agenda 30, an economic forum, you will own nothing and be happy. This has all been said and done in the last couple of years. And then you link it all together with what's going on with the economy, the budget, and everything like that. And as I've said in many videos, it's a very, very real prospect that in 4 years' time and 8 budgets, going on the current trend of budgets, you could own nothing and be happy. And there we see as well Rachel Reeves removing the benefit cap on 2 children. So we're basically paying for all the foreigners' kids, as I've mentioned before. Yeah, it's increasing the benefit state, rewarding everybody that doesn't want to go to work and does nothing and has kids. And basically, everybody that goes to work will be punished and have to pay for all this. Is kind of a way of looking at that budget, really. That everybody that works will now have to pay for everybody that doesn't work, and it's kind of like worse than that anyway, because that was always the crack, I suppose, with the benefit system. But now we got rid of the 2 child cap. But I mean, we brought that in because people were milking the system. Now everybody knows, literally everybody I've spoke to, and knows fine well that that benefits the Muslims, the who have loads of kids, and we have about two kids on average. The English white people, which was the limit. The people who have more kids are the foreigners, or primarily the Muslims who have lots of kids. So it benefits them massively, benefits the whole benefit state, making the benefit state bigger. And yeah, they want you on benefits so they can control your life. Is very much, again, you will own nothing and be happy. And in owning nothing, what that statement is basically saying is that you will not have nothing. You will just own nothing. You'll be rented things. You'll be rented your car, your house, your everything you can imagine will be rented to you. And as we've said before, if you're not a good little slave, we'll take things off you systematically. Then your freedom, then maybe even your life down the line as things get worse and worse. Um, yeah, they want. It's all about control. Again, we've said this all along. New World Order. It's all about control, complete control, a world government, a world economy, a world religion. It's all completely about control. It always has been, and it's the control of the elites of the entire world. And again, in order for you to do as you're told, um, sometimes people need some incentives. Now, if your entire life is on benefits, if the government gives you everything from money to food to a place to live, well, you're very much going to do as you're told, because if you don't, you lose all these things, and it is a way of controlling you, being your paymaster, so to speak. Where I'm from, we have Sellafield nuclear facility, and everybody that works there, in effect, works for the government in a way, shape, or form. Not if you're necessarily a contractor, but still the contractors then work on the site, so it's ultimately determined by the higher ups. Um, yeah, they're your paymasters, and if the paymasters say don't go to protests, do as you're told, and they're all on good money there. They will all do as they're told. I do know there was a rumor back when the Southport riots happened that if anybody on the site was seen at any protests or riots, they would lose their job. So there you go. The paymasters spoke. And if you are seen or attend any sort of protests or anything at all, you'll be gotten rid of. So there you go. That's 20, 30,000 people in the area can't go and protest to do anything about anything because the paymasters said so. Maybe not quite that many. There is contractors, but even then, the contractors, the employment, the employer can still dictate what you can and can't do in terms of bringing the firm into disrepute. Is another way of looking at it. If you go to a protest and done something wrong, you could be bringing the firm into disrepute, and that's they could get rid of you. So yeah, it's all about control and not protesting to what's happening and what's happening to you, what's happening to your money, what's happening to your country. That's also why they're going to bring in no jury trials, so they can get rid of people who make a fuss. And again, these this apparently it's under 2 years, apparently 6 months for a magistrate. They're moving it to under 2 years. So again, people like Lucy Connolly, that's what it's aimed at directly. People like Lucy Connolly and the Epping woman as well. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Sarah. Yeah, it's aimed at people like that, people like us, who don't play ball, who know what's going on, know that we're heading to a new world order. That telling people it's to get rid of us all and stop us in our tracks. And again, the people who know what's happening, you tell the people that don't know what's happening, and you get more people. So if you get rid of the people that know what's happening, you keep the numbers down. Again, you get everyone on benefits, or if everybody works for the big corporations, again, they own everything. So if you work for McDonald's or any of these big companies, again, they are your paymasters. They are in control. So this is a way of doing it. You know what I mean? And again, when we get to the New World Order, and they literally own everything, there'll be no option. There will be no option but to obey. And if you don't obey, you literally will be getting rid of. So it's very much true for me. They want you on benefits so they can control your life, and I've been saying this for quite a while. But it's not just the benefits. Again, if you work for the big corporations or the big companies, you work for them in the same way, except you actually go to work and get your money rather than just being on the system. But it's all the same stuff. Now, the problem you've got is that there is no benefit system in the New World Order. Like, the benefit system will be used to control you till we get to the New World Order. But once we get to the New World Order, if you do not have a purpose, you're not going to be here. We're going to limit the population, and everyone will serve a purpose. So the benefit system as well is very much an ends to a means that will control you to the point that they have complete and ultimate control, and they no longer need it, to be honest. And and the truth of the matter is they don't want people who are disabled or old or no use to the system anymore. You will serve a purpose, as I've said. I mean, there's a very famous film about this. It's old as well, a very old famous film where basically the people serve a purpose, and then they get to a certain age and they're gotten rid of on the film. I can't remember. It's real famous, real old, to be honest. They're gotten rid of at a certain age, and nobody in the society knows it happens. It's all kept a secret. You serve your purpose, then you're whisked away one day, and before you know it, you're gone. So again, that's another film kind of predicting the future for you in a roundabout way. There's many of them. We've got Time with Justin Timberlake in. It's telling you a form of what's going to happen. Time, it's called, where people have segregated the rich and the poor, and this kind of crack. Many films. I mean, books. George Orwell's 1984, The New World Order by H.G. Wells. Brave New World, Huxley, Aldous Huxley. So plenty of people have mentioned the New World Order, and H.G. Wells' book is actually called The New World Order. And we've seen there on another video I put the statement that countless people will die protesting against the New World Order, is the statement from the book, The New World Order. So that's what it's all about, as we've mentioned before. It's all about the New World Order, a one world government, centralised control, one world religion, one world economy. That's why the economy is currently collapsing. When we get the one world economy, it will not be a benefit system in the one world economy. That is something that's being currently used to control you till we get where we're going. And yeah, that's kind of the crack. It's all about control. So in order to control people, you're gonna have to use something of control. Now, money is the best thing you can use, and they're the two things. You're either on the benefit system, so they ultimately control you in that way, or you work for one of their companies, which is most companies at this point. So they've got you in that way. So that's how you keep a good section of society quiet as we drag you towards the New World Order that you're all going to fucking hate. So it's basically it shouldn't be stopping you from protesting, and I know it's a very strong hold, but unfortunately when we get where we're going, there will be no benefits. If you do not serve a purpose, you will be gotten rid of. If you don't play ball, you will be getting rid of. So again, whether this is into concentration camps or prisons, or even if you're just literally gotten rid of, again, times are going to change very, very drastically. The likes of which people won't believe, to be honest. And again, there's all this talk in the background in England anyway of removing human rights to get rid of some of the migrants. This is the worst move of all time. I had to literally explain this to somebody yesterday who was about 60-year-old, and he was talking about, it was actually about 70-year-old. He was talking about removing human rights to get rid of the migrants, and I said that you honest to God, like, I didn't say this, but like, you people are stupid. You know what I mean? If you remove human rights, you don't just remove the migrants' human rights. You remove ours, right, as well in the process. Now, the minute we haven't got any human rights, look what's going on with the government. Look what's happening with the government. I mean, it should be plain to see to anybody. Like, you know what I mean? The government is against us, like the people of Britain. If you remove human rights, our human rights, what do you think the government's going to fucking do to us? Like, it's a real bad move, honestly. It's a real bad move, removing human rights, but it's probably going to happen because in order to, again, to get to the New World Order, you kind of haven't got any human rights in the New World Order. So yeah, it kind of does need removed at some point. So that probably is part of the plan, and the English people will probably back it, thinking it's going to get rid of the migrants, when ultimately it's going to get rid of the British people in the long run. So be very careful. Be very careful where you tread is another thing. So they want you on benefits so they can control your life.
What's actually happening? Right, so we had COVID. We had COVID. That basically, all the restrictions, all the policies that were brought in via COVID, more or less destroyed the hospitality industry, destroyed the pub industry, to a certain extent, destroyed the...
Yeah, they've done that systematically. I know because I've been in the pub industry for quite a long time, and it's been a systematic destruction of the pub industry. And again, the ultimate reason for that is because the English people, the British people primarily, we all go to the pub and we talk in pubs, and they want you at home, isolated, not talking to people, being propaganded by the news 24/7, so you believe a world of bullshit. And if you go to the pub, people who don't believe the world of bullshit might be in the pub and might convince you of what actually really is happening in the world and why all this is going on. So ultimately, that's why they want rid of the pubs as well. And again, some people saying because all the Muslims are coming in, they don't drink alcohol to make the country more pliant for them, if that's the right word. Which is could be a slight little factor, but not really, to be honest, not really. It is about closing all the pubs because people talk in the pubs. Again, it's all about information. It's all about control. So if somebody in the pub knows the information, and then everybody in the pub could get to know the information, so close the pub, they can't meet, they can never find out the information. You're stuck at home on the internet, and you might never speak to that person on the internet. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's about shutting down ways of people talking to each other. Really, it's been a well-known thing that the pubs is where people. I mean, the British. It's an absolute like staple of the British community. Do you know what I mean? The pub, and again, local community pub, and people still have local community pubs in round in small communities that bought the pubs, and that is very much the community and where stuff can get sorted and discussed and local thing. You know what I mean? So it's a good place. It's a good place. So again, I would advise people to maybe use the pubs more because again, this is a systematic destruction of Britain, and when the pubs are gone, they are gone, and they won't be coming back. They really won't, because they do want rid of them. So yeah, that's another plan. Kill the pubs is why it's like again they've put the minimum wage up in on again on people and all this crack. It will cripple the pubs. The about 100,000 pubs have gone this year.
The restaurant industry as well. So normally when a industry gets destroyed, the government comes out and offers them a package because of their actions to give them like alternative work and stuff like that. That didn't happen. They just came in like a wrecking ball, and overnight many people found that they no longer had a job because restaurants were shut, pubs were shut, and they didn't know when they were going to open.
Yeah, I mean, I think restaurants are suffering quite a lot as well, to be honest, because I go out and about now and again and go out for something to eat, and wherever I go, if you go sort of through the week, they're really quiet. A lot of spots aren't opening now through the week, and when you go, there isn't the numbers. It's getting real expensive for food as well. That's another thing. As an example, I used to go to the Indian quite frequently, and when I started going to the Indian, it was about £18 to go for what I got. Last time I went, it hit 27 quid, and you know what I mean. That's for one meal for one day. If you have that meal every single day, what you're spending there? What, £200 a week on food just on the main meal? So it's not doable every night. You know what I mean? With £27, I mean I know it's a treat, but yeah, it's still shouldn't be fucking 27 quid for a meal for one person. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit mental, really. Well, it's just the gremlins in the machine here. It's the usual fucking tactic of I've got the PlayStation on, so let's knock it off and instantly sort that out. Yeah, so pubs, restaurants, I mean, but again, a lot of that is because a lot of these pubs and primarily more of the restaurants, again, are not owned by the global elites. These are sort of independent businesses that people have set up over the years.
Normally, when a industry gets destroyed, the government comes out and offers them a package because of their actions to give them like alternative work and stuff like that. That didn't happen. They just came in like a wrecking ball, and overnight many people found that they no longer had a job because restaurants were shut, pubs were shut, and they didn't know when they were going to open again. Many didn't reopen. So all those people were all of a sudden turfed on. If they didn't have means to survive, they were put on to universal credit straight away, more or less, unless they went into a job straight away, which from what I've heard was few and far between. So they've got all those people. COVID destroyed all those jobs. And what we have now is, and this is the thing, I've spoken about this briefly before. So we've had this influx, this flooding of the job market with cheap labour from all over the world. Not illegal immigrants, legal migration, legal economic migrants that have taken up all the low-paid jobs. That's why you see so many.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting 1 million a year, nearly, legal migration. I've mentioned this before. It's actually a bigger problem than illegal migration. Being sneaked in the back door where everybody's being shown the legal migration and concentrating on that. 1 million people, again, we've seen all the Deliveroo drivers and Uber Eats and all these people that's doing all these jobs, taking loads of jobs that, again, British people could have had. So yeah, they're absolutely flooding the job market. Again, and all these people as well, they don't give a fuck about Britain. You know what I mean? Like, they don't give a fuck. about the freedoms of Britain and Britain's history and everything that we're sort of talking about here. They're not from here. They literally do not give a fuck about any of that.
Foreign security, they're all in the low-paid jobs.
Yeah, and we've seen again every migrant hotel you go to, every single one of the security at the migrant hotels. Not one of them I've seen. I've seen one, I think, on one in every hotel. It was in Blackpool. I seen where they actually had British security guards. One hotel. Out of hundreds and hundreds of hotels, all the security guards are foreigners. Again, it's not a good idea. Why do they give a fuck about Britain? They don't. So we've all seen it. We've all absolutely seen it. The fact that all the security guards are foreign is a massive part of the plan for me. Anyway, it's not. It's no coincidence. You know what I mean?
So what you've got now is you haven't got any stopgap jobs for people that when they lose their job to slip into these low-paid jobs to tide them over until they can find better employment. So no, not only are they up against that yeah, the job market is very slim at the minute. You've also got the fact that they're going up against the DEI policies, which is basically affirmative action. It's legal discrimination. So say you apply for a job, you're a white, English, straight, male, Brit. You apply for a job, your name's David Smith, you apply for a job, but then you find out you're going up against, there's 50 white Brits that go up for a job. They've all got similar CVs and that sort of thing, they're all going for it. And then there's only one position. But then there's an immigrant from Eritrea in with you. Now, DEI kicks in, and now all those white Brits, they're excluded from applying for that job because that company at that time is box ticking. You're right, mate. Morning. That company at that time is box ticking. So that's affirmative action, that's positive discrimination, that's legalised discrimination. And the Equalities Act won't touch it because companies don't have to state why they haven't given you the job. If they did, if they had to tell you why you didn't get the job, that would bring it into the realms of the Equalities Act, because they would have to tell you that they've discriminated against you because of your skin colour, the fact that you're not gay, and all the other affirmative, positive, box ticking shit that they do when they choose applicants. That's why we're in the state we're in. So it's not just the fact that people don't want to work or they're lazy. They're coming up against a hell of a lot of hurdles in their way as well when they're trying to get back in the job market. I know myself. If you're in your late 40s, early 50s, it's a curse because companies tend not to touch you with a barge pole. Unless you've got reasonable experience in a certain industry, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. And this is what a lot of people were finding. A lot of door supervisors that I knew were in their late 40s, early 50s, got made redundant from their jobs. Suddenly their jobs disappeared overnight because all the pubs shut. Now they're back into the job market. They were doing the retail jobs, going to the retail security jobs, and then they were finding out from companies that companies wouldn't take them on. Again, affirmative action was in place, and also their age was a factor. Now you will hear people in the job centre saying, oh well, companies shouldn't discriminate on age. They do. And who's going to fight it? Who's got the money to take a firm to a tribunal that's going to cost you lots of money, a process which you're not guaranteed to actually win? Who's got the money to do that? To take these companies to court to try and prove that they discriminated against you because of your age? Nobody's going to do that. If you want a job, you're just going to move on to the next job application, aren't you? And try and get employed there. So that's what's actually happening at the minute out there in the big wide world. It's not just the fact that people don't want to work. It's It's policy after policy that governments have brought in. They've actually made it harder for people to get back into work. And Rachel from accounts is no different. This government at the minute is no different. In fact, they're probably the worst ones to do it, because they've raised national insurance for employers.
Yeah, they've done that last not budget, not the one just gone, the one before. Again, that crippled lots and lots of businesses. Have struggled all the way through the year. Now she's put the minimum wage up again. Again, this is literally crippling small businesses, especially pubs and restaurants. Um, as less people go to the pubs and restaurants because people have less money to go to the pubs and restaurants, it all has a knock-on effect, which ultimately ends in no pubs, restaurants, or shops, or just foreign shops. All these towns now with fucking Chinese nail bars and Turkish hairdressers for man and boy, but you won't have much else. But the way it's going, because they, for some reason, can seem to pay all the fucking council taxes and everything, and not a problem for all the Turkish hairdressers and Chinese nail bars, but everybody else is struggling. So yeah, we're in a real mess here, to be honest. Again, we have been quite a while. It's probably going to get worse as we head to the New World Order. And again, this is what's going on. It's all about control. Again, trying to control you, control your life. But ultimately, before we get to the total control, we have to control you on the way down the line so we can get there. And again, this is all part of this plan. It's massively all part of this plan of control.
So that's instantly going to narrow their field of vision when they're looking for applicants on applications. They're going to be looking to invest in younger workers rather than older workers, aren't they? It's just common sense. You know, you're not going to look into buying a car that's got a few miles on the clock when you can get a brand new one that's fairly cheap, are you? It's all the
Yeah, I mean he's right with the diversity thing. You're absolutely fucked if you're not if you're white, British and male in this country or in the world at this point. You're like the least thing ever, and he's right. All this diversity bullshit, and again we've seen this diversity bullshit. It's cost lives, to be honest, putting people in positions because they're black rather than they're qualified for the job. It has cost lives again, and even in women, like putting women in the job instead of men. Again, we've seen that helicopter crash in America. It's crashed into a plane, killed like 200, 300 people. Woman pilot wouldn't listen when she was told to lower the helicopter. Yeah, there's well, massive arguments that the best person should be put in the job, not the best person who ticks a box. And everybody said that for a long time, to be honest. And I think everybody kind of agrees. The best person for the job should be given the job, not anything to do with your religion or your skin color or anything at all. The best person for the job should do the job. But that's not the way of it. It really isn't the way of it. It's again, we've seen this diversity left, right, and centre. Even where I live, it's very apparent as they're shipping in more and more foreigners. But all these foreigners are also in jobs as well. So again, it's very real. This whole diversity box ticking scenario. I mean, look at the Home Office as an example. The Home Office has very much been ticking the diversity box for quite a while here, and it's part of the trouble we're in. So yeah, it's a good channel. This Vindicator Strikes Back. He does know his stuff, and he's only got 6,000 subscribers. He's getting bigger, he's getting bigger. But I'm surprised he's not bigger on the sort of Britain Patriot scene for only 6,000, because he has been getting about as well. He did go to Southampton when the whole Southampton thing was going on. I think I mentioned the channel then. I think I've mentioned it before. So I just thought I'd mention again, that's it, just seeing the video. I wasn't really going to make a video this morning. Couldn't really see anything to make one on, really. It's just bagwash Britain, isn't it? Everything gets worse. I mean, we've got some things here. Britain, it's happening, exclusive. We've got universal credit changes here. Who wins £725? Who loses £2.5 a year? The truth about Ireland's crisis, housing, corruption, and systematic failure. Yeah, like again, it's all bagwash, isn't it? It's all bagwash. Also, we've got universal credit in the UK. Nightmare. She's got something's happening there. Again, I don't know if people are getting cut off or what's happening with the universal credit. To be honest, again, I'm not on benefits myself, so I don't really follow it. The last time I was on benefits was 20 years ago, maybe a bit more. No, it'd be more, but like 25 years ago. I was on the dole for about 6 months when I moved back from Manchester. Um, and that's the only time I've ever been on the dole. I've always had a job all my life, other than when I moved back from Manchester. Even when I moved to Manchester, I got a job pretty quickly. It was just when I got back, I didn't actually. I went on the dole on purpose. My mate had committed suicide and hung himself, and I was just moving back to where I was from, and everything was a bit fucked up. So I just kind of was on the dole with my head fucked up a bit, but then eventually got over that, got a job, and been in employment for 25 years. But the way things are going, again, all the pubs are going down here, and apparently you need a digital ID to get a new job pretty soon, so I won't be getting one of them. So it's again, they're crippling your ability to work in many ways. And if your job goes under in the near future and the digital ID is part of getting a new job, then there you go. They've got you into the digital ID as well, with all the little tricks and schemes here and everywhere which would loose. I mean, they want your fingerprint now to fly into Europe. I knew a lad yesterday who was talking about going to Toulouse to watch the rugby league, I believe, in Toulouse and in France. And he was going to go over on the plane, and said to him that they want your fingerprint now to travel in Europe. And he was, oh, fuck, I forgot about that. So yeah, you want your fingerprint to get anywhere in Europe now. So again, I mean, I don't think I'll be flying in Europe, to be honest. They're not getting my fucking fingerprint. They haven't had my fingerprint in 45 years, and I'm not giving them it. And so, flying in Europe's probably out of the question, to be honest. Absolutely out of the question. Again, they're not getting my fingerprint. Again, Turkey, it doesn't apply there still to Turkey. It's just Europe for some reason at the moment. So, yeah, I don't think I'll be flying anywhere in Europe ever again, to be honest, because you're not getting my fingerprint. So yeah, again, there's another little trick of theirs, isn't there? Trying to get your fingerprints as you're flying all over Europe. Again, digital ID, locking you down, fingerprint, facial recognition, all part of the lockdown. Because when they know who you are and where you are, they can very much control you more so as well. You can't step out of line because they'll come and get you because they know exactly who you are and where you are.
There's all obstacles in the way. And the way to get around this is to move back to the old system that I used to know when I first left school. When I left school, I used to go into a job centre, and they would come out with 5 jobs. They'd say, right, there's 5 jobs you can do here, and they put them in front of you, and they like say, right, pick one. That's what happened to me. Pick one. And what they do, you pick one, and then they get on the phone and they'd arrange an interview for you to go to that job and have an interview.
Yeah, that's not what happens now. I went in like a couple of months back there, just on the off chance. I'm just passing, having a look. And you get in, and there's 2 people just stood there. There's a board full of jobs. They tell you to go and look at the board, and then you go and contact Indeed or something. There's the fuck all to do with them anymore. There's some companies fucking running it, from what I seen. And you just go there and sign on every now and again. I think it's the crack. I don't know. I haven't been on the bed for 25 years. But I nipped in, and there was just a man and a woman stood there directing you to a board. And when you said, like, oh, well, what do you do there? And just like, you go on Indeed or online. Well, you don't even fucking do anything anymore then, do you? You might as well just tell me to go on Indeed online and fucking do it. So, everything's fucked, to be honest. That's the summary yet again here. Everything's fucked. Everything's fucked. Everything is fucked. If anybody would like to tell me anything that isn't fucked, I'd love to know. I'd love to know it. So, yeah, everything's fucked.
And they keep doing that until you got a job. That doesn't happen anymore, because this bullshit policy came in to saying that, they can't force you into work. Well, I don't see it as forcing you into work. They're helping you into work. If you really want a job, you'll accept the help and, be grateful for what they're doing for you.
Yeah, well, it used to be for me anyhow. When I was on the dole for the brief time I was, it was kind of like they were forcing you into work because they wanted you off the benefit system, because the benefit system wasn't there to be milked, and we don't have endless supply of money here. So there was a bit of a push to get you into work if you were capable of work, which was annoying if you didn't want to work. But fair play, it's kind of the way it should be. Do you know what I mean? You are able to work. So you're going to work. We're not paying for you to do fuck all when you can go capable of work. So we'll pay you at least for so long. But if you make no strives to get a fucking job, then unfortunately we're going to take this benefits off you because you're not. It used to be called Job Seekers Allowance. It was in the name, Job Seekers Allowance. You had to be seeking a job in order to get this allowance. So if you weren't seeking a job, get the fuck off the benefit, to fend for yourself. And fair dues, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's harsh but fair, it's harsh but fair. So it was a system that worked in many ways. We didn't have the fucking shit show that we've got today. And again, Rachel Reeves removing the two-child, that is an absolute shit show. That is, honestly, I am really pissed off about that. Really, because we're just literally paying £3 billion a year to foreigners and foreign children to sit and do fuck all, and make no attempt to get a job whatsoever, just sit at home and have kids. And we've got to pay for them all, and I'm fucking real pissed off about that, to be honest, because these people aren't even British, they're not even English. They've just come here from foreign countries to have loads of kids so that we pay them a load of money for them. And it's bang out of order. It's absolutely bang out of order. We wouldn't be allowed to go and do it in other countries, so why the fuck's everybody allowed to come and do it here? Ultimately making us poorer, and this is what this is all about again, and fucking, once we're poor and we're on the benefit system, these motherfuckers can control us and walk us into the new world order, and we're not allowed to say boo to a goose. Is kind of what's happening here, so yet again, it fucking frustrates me, I swear to Christ here, like, what will be, I suppose, if we're going with that. Yeah, so they want you on benefits, they want to control your life, they don't want any, I've said this before, they don't want any shops or businesses that aren't controlled by the global elites, because ultimately once you work for the global elites or you're on the benefit system, they ultimately control your life and can dictate to you what you can and cannot do, and if you do something that they do not deem correct, they'll remove everything, so it ultimately controls you, and that's what's happening, and that's where we're going. So, shit show Britain, still no good news. I mean, I wonder what this one is up here. It's happening, exclusive. I'm intrigued. Just clickbait titles. Yeah, so I'm not going to click on it. Fuck him, he's not getting the view for having a clickbait title. So, yeah, the world's fucked. No, that's basically the summary here. The world is fucked. I'll leave it there, peace.